Hello, this is Kenzie, the tiny lady in the tiny apartment in Colorado. And today we are going to propagate spider plant babies. And these are super easy to propagate. I took these ones from one of my mother-in-law's spider plants. She has several very huge and unruly spider plants with lots of spider plant babies. So that's where these came from today. And what you're going to need is some clean clippers, scissors, pruning shears. Make sure they're washed and clean, sterile, so you're not passing bacteria or other diseases onto your new plants. And I'm going to show you two different ways to propagate these spider plant babies. The first method is going to be water, which for many people is going to be the easiest option. And all you do is take your spider plant baby, and this one's already been clipped from the vine, so I've kind of pulled it together here. Put that in water and let that root. Now make sure that this water, if it's tap water, city water, make sure it sits at least overnight, if not for 24 hours, because of chlorine, fluoride, things like that. It'll really help the plant. The chlorine in the water can actually kill clippings, so it's really just not a good idea to put it straight into tap water that you just poured. So this one came from one of my watering cans, so it's been sitting out for at least 24 hours. And the soil method is actually quite easy. What I'm going to do is, this one still has part of the vine on it, just so I could show everybody at home. When you see one of these on the vine, you want to clip it right about there, or as close as you can to the nodes. You can clip that little piece off too. Now see, on here, there's little nodes at the end here, and that's what's going to be your root. Now, if your clippings are too small, they might not have any nodes yet. You might have to leave them there for a little while. Now you take this, and this is optional, completely optional. This is rooting hormone. You really don't need these with spider plant clippings, but just for educational purposes. I'm going to dip a little bit of this in that water, dip it in the rooting hormone, tap it off, and anything that's white on there is that rooting hormone. We're going to make a little hole for it right here, and this is a container that has drainage at the bottom of it. And the mixture you want to use, maybe like 50% perlite, 50% sand, something that drains really well. If you don't have a container that drains well, you can always put gravel at the bottom of it so that the water has somewhere to settle underneath the soil. Let's just put that in there. And as far as propagating, that's it. With the roots on these, if you're doing a water propagation, don't let them root for too long in the water. The longer they root in water, the harder it is for them to adapt to soil. So I would say once they start to get some roots on them, move them to soil. And keep them moist while they're rooting out. But once they get to be a little bit bigger and you know they have roots, don't water them too much. You can actually let them dry out in between waterings. If you overwater a spider plant, you can kill it. That's when the spider plants end up with the brown tips, and a lot of the dry tips is when they're waterlogged. Adult spider plants do not like to sit in water. So just keep that in mind. And that is all. That is propagating spider plant babies. And for the love of plants, I will see you next time.